Hello and welcome back to my podcast. It's been a while since I've been on camera because my last two podcasts that I recorded were only sound and not video, and a part of that was because my computer was broken, and my computer is still broken. I did not fix it, but I went to the Apple store and they pretty much let me know that, hey, like, this is gonna cost a lot of money. We'll get into that in a little bit, but before I start, I just want to take a quick smoke break and then I will be right back. I love that song, Close to Me by The Cure. Such a good song, such a good song. Okay, before I start my podcast, like with the topics and stuff, one thing I want to first talk about is the fight between Mike Tyson and Jake Paul yesterday. What the fuck? What was that? I was expecting things to go differently. I really was. But then I was also not expecting things to go differently. I was kind of expecting things to go the exact way that it ended up going. So I am at a standstill. I will say, but I'm also not, because this is how I feel. I felt like the game was, what is that what you call it, a boxing game? No, I don't think you call it that. The fight, it was essentially a old dude fighting against a young dude, right? And like, you expected it to be better, but you kind of expected it to go exactly the way that it went. I think we expected it to be better because it was Mike Tyson, but then it's like, he's 58, so it kind of went exactly how it was supposed to go. And it's weird to me because, like, I feel like I knew that, but like at the same time I was still rooting for him, like, oh, he's gonna fuck up Jake Paul, he's gonna do all these things. But then, like, when we actually watched it, it's like, of course this man was gonna like have a hard time with this 26-year-old or whatever the fuck age he is, you know what I mean? He's like mad young, so of course like this 58-year-old man is gonna be slower than anticipated and probably not be good enough to like go against this young dude like with all this fucking crazy energy. It's just, that whole situation was just like so crazy to watch, because like I really was hoping that he would get something. I mean, he did do well. For a 58-year-old, he did pretty well. Like, he looks great. He's in great shape. He was moving and grooving the way that he was supposed to be at that age. And he did what he had to do at his age. You know what I mean? Especially considering how much experience that man has. Like, he did what he had to do. The fact that he's even able to, like, do the shit that he's doing at that age in a ring with someone that young, like, kudos to this man, you know what I mean? That's how you know he's the OG, because that's just crazy, you know? But my thing is like at the end of it, it's like Jake Paul won, quote unquote won, because like, what was that? Was that even a win? I don't even know. At the end of the day, I'm just like, what were you trying to prove? Like, were you trying to prove that you're like a major dickhead? Like, were you actually trying to like prove to people that you're worse than you actually say you are? Like, I like that he like gave him respect, but it's like, at the end of the day, you like fought against a 58-year-old man and you're like 20 something years old. Like, you just look like a douche, dude. Like, and you beat him because he's old. You didn't beat him because you're good. Like, you know, like, that was very strange. I don't know, that whole experience was very surreal. I think it had a lot of layers to it in a lot of different ways, and it made me extremely uncomfortable. One of the the biggest things I had with it was that, like, you know, yes, Mike Tyson slapped the crap out of him, and it's like, you know, if someone steps on my foot, I'm gonna slap them too. It's a reaction. He's a reactive dude, so you can't really get mad, but I understand why you're mad. But it's like the shit he was talking, like, leading up to the fight, and like how he was saying all this like disrespectful shit to Mike Tyson just for him to like turn around and be in the ring and like kind of like give empathy to the dude. Like, I was very uncomfortable in a lot of ways due to that, because it's like, cool, he gave this man kudos. One, he shouldn't even have been fighting this man in the first place. Like, I just feel like that was just wrong on itself. It was giving the same vibes when we saw Joe Biden, like, on the poll, like, not on the polls, but like on the like stand, like still saying he's gonna become president when he shouldn't have been. Mike Tyson's obviously more sharp and like more put together because he's younger, but it was like that kind of vibe. It's like, wait, what was I talking about? What was the point of this? My point was that one of the layers that made me uncomfortable was the fact that like he's like an old dude and he's a black guy, and then this like white guy, like younger, more capable at that point, is like fighting this man to prove something and claiming he's tough because like this is like the biggest and baddest. It was just giving like low-key racism, and I can't like explain it in like words what it was giving, but it was 100% like low-key giving racism. Like, your spirit knows like what I'm talking about. Like, if you understand what I'm saying, it's because your spirit understands what I'm saying, because it was the whole thing, right? And then like him like giving him kudos was like, I was like, oh, okay, this doesn't feel as racist as I felt like it was previous to that, but like even that felt kind of racist. And again, like, I can't explain it, but it's just like there's like a layer there. And what solidified it for me was the fact that at the end he just said he loved America and all these things about America, and I was like, this feels crazy. Like, this feels dystopian and like uncomfortable, and it's just like, what happened here? You know, like, Netflix has their own issues and I'm just like cuties alone. So then there's that, and I'm like, this feels, something feels wrong. Like, my spirit feels uncomfortable. Super duper. Uncomfortable to the point that I don't even have words for what I'm seeing type of situation, you know? Yes, that's how I feel about the Jake Paul situation. I just had to say that first because that just happened, and I'm seeing discourse on TikTok about it, and it's just like, it's very, it was a, I don't know. I don't know. We're gonna move past that because I honestly don't have any more words for that. But I did want to talk about Love is Blind, the DC one, the like recent one in the US. That that season was so like, I feel like they have to be intentionally casting situations like this, like personalities like this. I feel like they are intentionally hiring characters, like people with personalities that you know are gonna make things messy, because it's like, what are the odds that these people are being found? And like, the seasons keep getting gradually worse. I feel like I could have called a lot of what was happening. I was feeling strong vibes, especially from the men. Like, they were the ones who were like giving me the most intense vibes. Some of the women were, but like more the men than the women. Monica and Steven, because I wrote it down. I was like, I need to write this down. But Monica and Steven, let me tell you something about that man. I knew from the jump, from the first time he got on camera, that he was a weird dude, bro. And I was like, this man is a freak, I guarantee you. And like every single time he would say something to Monica, he would like make a look. I was like, it was giving like race play too. Like he was into some stuff, you know? He was into some like some crazy stuff, like intense, you know, kink stuff. He was definitely into some kink stuff. And I'm not gonna kink shame. I don't want to kink shame, you know, everybody got their things. I fuck with kinks. I think kinks are cool, you know. He just gave me vibes like it would get uncomfortable, and then he gradually on camera started getting uncomfortable with how he would speak and the things he would do, and I was like, I knew it, girl. And the first thing that solidified that for me was when he was talking to Monica about like having like black ancestry or something, and maybe I'll put the clip in on the YouTube video just so you can see what I'm talking about.
I don't even know what I really want to ask, but like, okay, let's start with this. Did you vote in the last presidential election
Yes,
or the election before that?
Yes, I did. It is, I mean, both as a veteran and an American, it's kind of my responsibility
Yeah.
to do so.
Thank you again for your service. I don't know if I've had a chance to say that.
Yeah. You don't have to do it anymore. I get it. Thank you.
I really mean it though.
I appreciate it.
I'm
But yeah,
super grateful for people
yes.
like you.
Whether I liked the candidates or not is a different story.
Yeah.
But I did vote, and it was rough.
Yeah.
It was rough for both the last election and this election, because I mean, since we're already on this topic, like my dad is a Republican. He'll vote Republican, very much a centrist.
Yeah.
I want to vote for my candidate because I believe in what they're selling. I'll be completely honest. I voted for President Trump because I didn't like Hillary in the first election.
Mm-hmm.
But I despise the way that Trump handled his time in office.
Mm-hmm.
And I voted for Biden, and I can honestly say I definitely put a lot more thought and passion into that second vote than I did the first, and I will happily admit that my first vote wasn't the most educated vote. You know, my background's actually a little interesting.
Tell me.
For the most part, I identify as white.
Mm-hmm.
But my dad,
Mm-hmm.
so this is an interesting story. On my dad's side, she is German. And she told us for years that my dad's side of the family and my grandfather's was Italian.
Mm-hmm.
So I grew up thinking, you know, okay, I got some flavor here. I'm Italian, you know. My class ring when I bought it in high school had the Italian flag on it. I was so proud to be Italian. Fast forward a few, like 3 years ago, my sister does an Ancestry.com.
I knew that this is where you were headed. I'm so excited.
And it turns out the closest we have is 0.3% broadly European.
Shut up.
It's not even
It's not even 0.3% Italian?
Most of it is Nigerian, Congolese,
Wow.
Sierra Leonean, and primarily a lot of West Africa. So
Wow.
it turns out that my dad is actually like 3/5 or half black.
Wow.
I have identified as white my whole life.
Yeah.
You know, I pretty much thought I was, you know, and
Yeah.
it turns out I'm not even Italian.
It's a really good story. And of course you want to understand it. Like that's
Yeah.
cool. That's interesting.
Once I found out, of course, I immediately found some books and started looking into Ghanaian and Nigerian cultures.
That's really cool.
Yeah, this is like a lot of West Africa that I'm mixed with. So there's a lot of different cultures here that now I get to learn about on a more personal level.
Yeah.
Find it.
I think she ends up telling him that she's black. I'm pretty sure she does at some point when they're still in the pods, but because of that, like, I feel like he just got weird about the situation, and then it started sounding like he was like really into black women. When I found out that like that situation happened with him like texting someone while he was like sleeping and the things he was into, I was like, I fucking knew it. I knew it. He would say things to Monica like when they were like as a couple, like already, like he would say some freaky shit to her.
To be honest, there's so many different things you can put your dick inside. Pineapple, bowl of macaroni and cheese.
Bowl of macaroni and cheese.
Yeah, vagina, I would try to. Could you imagine being the first man with a legitimate vagina? I'd be able to compare now the difference between getting kicked in the nuts and giving birth. Giving birth is the only time a woman comes close to understanding what it's like when a man has a common cold. Okay?
Are you well? Going in?
Yes.
Yeah?
Uh-oh.
Are you ready?
You gonna put it in my butt? Right in the cheek?
I'm just like, what? This man is a freak. Like, he literally wants to like be in her skin. Like, I could see it. Oh my gosh, good for you, girl. Like, you got a man that's like so crazy in love with you like that. But it felt very sexualized and not like wife, like I want you as my wife type of vibes. It was giving more like, oh, I want to have a good time, I want to have fun, and then like when the serious stuff happens, I'm gonna disengage or I'm gonna like do other things, you know. It was giving very like uncomfortable, I don't trust you vibes. And then he ended up doing some sketchy stuff and it's like, dang. But I will say, in my opinion, Monica was also demanding a lot from someone she just met. You know, like I get that they were supposed to be strangers who like marry each other. I totally understand that. But at the same time, it's like demanding so much from a person when you barely know them is like a lot. You know, I feel like that's why a lot of the couples don't get married. They ended up dating like after the fact, or like they just remain friends because they're like, this is a lot and I don't know if I can handle this with you or just in general, you know. He was definitely like a lot like a lot, but I called that shit from the get. I was just like, this man is a freak, bro. Like, he is a freak, and every single time I see him on camera I would say that, like, he's a freak, bro. He's so crazy. He's like an actual like weird dude. Like, I'm telling you, like, he gets into some stuff. Nick and Hannah, oh my gosh, what a ride that relationship was. I felt like all of that stuff that we saw on camera was like so crazy, like, and it made Nick look like a victim a lot, but I knew that he was like definitely causing some of the responses and stuff because he was definitely like too chill on camera. Like, it was like they're definitely having conversations that we don't know about that's causing Hannah to feel this way. Like, even though Hannah did seem like a lot, I just felt like it's not all her, you know, especially now, like knowing how they do things with the camera work and stuff and editing. Like, I was like, there's no way it's just her. It's definitely him as well. So I was like, I wish they would have showed more of him. Like, he did have his moments, but like, it was weird. I was hoping that they would work things out because they did seem like they liked each other, like genuinely, but it was just like really a lot like to watch as a consumer. I felt like that relationship particularly needed to be handled like off camera. Like, I don't know why, but it's just like, it was a lot. It was a lot to see. It was a lot to watch. It sucks that like these people get like so much shit after the fact. It's like, I would never bully someone for seeing how they are in a relationship on camera. Like, you're probably a fucking nightmare yourself, so why would you come at someone who's just doing it out in the open for everyone to see? I just think that's so like, that's so dumb. Like, people attacking people for that. It's like, you don't even fucking know these people. You're such a weirdo, you know? With them, that's all I gotta say. Like, I wish they would have ended things better, honestly. Even at the reunion, it was just messy, and it's like, I wish them peace. I hope they are able to like hash things out. They seem like they could be really good friends. Krista and Ramses. So I actually liked them as a couple. I thought they were really cute. And I like them both individually. Ramses, at first, I was like, I don't know if I like him. Just from, like, how he came off. Sorry, there was something going on with the recording, because I'm recording, and I'm, like, video recording at the same time. what was I saying? Oh yeah, with Ramses, it's like I felt like I wasn't sure about him when I first met him.
That's my purse! I don't know you!
Oh, do I know him? I didn't meet that man. I met him on TV. But when I first saw him on screen, because I know a lot of guys that look and dress like him, and they a lot of the time are so shitty. But I think it's because they're American. He's from Venezuela, and I think that's definitely why he came off like better than a lot of the guys that I know that aesthetically look like him. And even like kind of talk like him, like have the same like vibes as him, but he seemed like cooler in a lot of ways after like I saw him speaking and stuff, which I get why Marissa chose him. The other guy, I liked how they were vibing, but it just seemed like Marissa's conversations with Ramses were gonna get deep as they were, because he's like seems like he's a really cool dude. Like he's a good person at heart, and he prioritizes his culture and his people, and I fuck with that heavy. Like anyone whose morals are like on the right side of things, I'm like, I fuck with you. So I liked him. Like he grew on me for sure. I mean, I feel like I could see him like doing what he did at the end of the situation with Marissa. I feel like that was something that I felt initially, and that's why I was like, I don't know, I feel uncomfortable like with him like as I'm watching him like move through the relationship. Like I was like, there's something about him that I still am not sure of, and I think that's what it was that like he is a thoughtful dude. Like he seems like he's genuinely a thoughtful dude, but he makes decisions without thinking too much on them and listening to himself, and that causes negative consequences. That's what it seems like when I saw him. So that's how I feel about them. But Marissa I liked. She was cool. You know, her being in the army, it is what it is. It was a different time, you know. People become aware of things after the fact, and I totally understand why Ramses felt the way that he did too, and I'm just glad that they were able to have that conversation, especially on screen, especially as people of color, and like really talk about the things that matter in this world like now, because there's so many people who are feeling that, and that was real as fuck. I was like, yes. One thing Netflix did do well is Love is Blind. That's the one show they did do well. It just makes me sad how things ended, because oh my gosh, the way Marissa like was after the fact when he broke up with her, I've felt like that, and I had so much empathy for her. I've been in that emotional state when someone has broken up with me, and it's devastating. But I'm so glad that she was willing to be that vulnerable on camera, because that was something that is felt. Like it's so visceral, like even watching it, because it's like I've experienced that. I've seen other people I love experience that, and it was just like, damn, like I did feel for her, and I was like, I'm hoping she's doing well. Like even now, I hope she's doing okay, and she's like healed or healing, and she's like doing better, you know, because that sometimes I'm like, we don't need to see all this. Like let people have their moments to themselves. You could have edited that out. Like I get it, it's good content, but like fuck y'all. Like for real, y'all are not nice. Y'all are not nice people. Leo and Brittany, okay, they're the ones that are my faves. I love them. I love Brittany. She seems like so fun. Like she seems like a girl's girl. Like she really is so adorable. Love her. And then Leo, I was like, girl, what's up with you? Like, are you good? Like, you okay? He was panicking like all the time. I was like, chill the fuck out. But I get it. Like when you have a hard time making decisions about important things like that, like you will panic. Because I would panic, but that's why I would never go on that show unless I absolutely was like, I guess this is the only way. Some people get to that point, so I get it. But yeah, I love them both. I'm so glad that they're friends. Like, that's cool. I love that a friendship like that came out of it. A lot of friendships come out of it, and I think that's the coolest part too. It brings people together even if it's not in marriage, you know? So I think that's pretty dope. about the show, even though I said what I said about Netflix.
Okay. Shady bitch. Sorry.
And the next one was Taylor and Garrett. Okay, so initially I did not like their relationship, and it's like, it's my opinion, it is what it is, but like as I saw them like interacting more, I was like, oh, I get it, you know, I get it. It's just her like not wanting to talk about like where she came from and him like kind of pressuring her. I was like, I don't like that shit at all, dude. That was where I got uncomfortable, because she's an Asian woman, she's a woman of color, like she has her reasons for being guarded, and yes, she has to let that down to find a husband. I totally understand that, but it's like his responses made me uncomfortable. I'm not gonna say he sounded like a douche, because I don't think he 100% did. It's just the fact that the dynamic was the way that it was. They didn't know, but I knew. That's what made me uncomfortable, because it was just a lack of like him understanding and being able to empathize with that understanding, that like she had to guard herself because she's been sexualized because she's an Asian woman, you know what I mean? Like there was a lot of layers to that like he wasn't getting, and it was frustrating me watching, because I was like, you're just not gonna get it, like you just can't. But you need to respect her opinion and her decision and not get mad at her. Like she has her reasons, she'll tell you in like once you guys get together, you know what I mean? So yeah, that was the only thing. One thing I didn't, okay, hold on. Because I forgot that this happened. I wrote it down and I was like, all right, bitch, I gotta talk about this. But one thing I forgot to mention with Taylor and Garrett is the fact that he lied. I did not like that. And then this is why, you see what I'm saying? Like you see the first initial like screening of these people, you feel a vibe, and then it goes away because of usually the women, like their relationship with the women is like so cute, and then like they do something else and you're like, bitch, this is why I didn't like them to begin with. But I forgot about that. He basically lied to her, and it's like, she asked you very specifically what was going on. I forgot what the situation was, but she asked him something about hitting up like one of the, like his ex or something, or one of the girls online. I don't remember what it was. Someone on Instagram he DM'd or something, and she was like, oh, is that all you said? And he was like, yeah, that's all I said. And then he said more, and it's like, why'd you lie? That's your wife, girl. She already met your parents and everything. Why you lie about that? That was weird. I don't like that. And it's like, my ex was like that. He would like lie because he was under pressure, or he would leave things out because he was under pressure and he just didn't know how to respond. But to me, it's like, you could have just said, I can't respond right now. Even if you don't have the words, you gonna lie? That is uncomfortable. And it's like, this is why women don't want to date men, because it's like, you don't even need to lie about that. You could have just told her the truth. You already told her most of the truth. Why didn't you tell her the whole thing? Now she's gonna feel some type of way, and she has experience with ain't shit men, so of course she's gonna start feeling some type of way. Like, she's gonna not trust you. Like, you are trying to gain her trust. She don't even know you, bro, and you're gonna turn around and do something like that, and it only slips out because you're with one of the boys. That's some shit. Like, that's some shit. I mean, I'm glad that Taylor like was able to move past it and they have like a cute, beautiful life now, but damn, that shit was crazy. Like, I was like, what's wrong with you? You did not need to do that. That was unnecessary. Unnecessary.
Hey, bro. I'm good.
Bro, you okay?
I'm good, bro. You geeking, bro. I'm good.
Bro.
Bro, get hold of me. I'm good, bro.
Bro. Are you crying, bro?
No, bro. I'm good, bro. I swear to God.
Tyler and Ashley. So I love them, especially as a Christian. I was like, oh my gosh, this cute Christian couple, adorable. I thought they were both so cute, especially with each other. And then it was the only thing that made me like confused was the fact that they had to like reenact like a conversation they had for the cameras. I hated that. I was like, this sucks. Like, they should have just let that stay private, but again, it's all for entertainment. But I was like for her to have to act out like something she already knew, and him too, especially as serious as that is, like, that was so distasteful. Not on their part. I know it wasn't their fault, but on the fucking production. Because it's like, that is crazy. Like, I know it's a topic that a lot of people go through, but it shouldn't have gone like that. It should have just been a discussion on camera and then moved past it or something. You know what I mean? Something like that. Like those testimonials when they go in the box and then they talk to the screen or something. Like, it should have been something like that. I'm glad that they were able to work things out and everything was good between them. I liked them. I thought they were cute. I have no issues with anything in their relationship. I thought they were perfect. They seem like they love each other. They're God-fearing people. I respect it. That's it. That's it. Alex and Tim. So I'm convinced that Alex low-key did not like Tim. Like, whenever Tim would like make jokes or something like that, Alex would like cringe. And she was like, that's like my dad. Like, that sounds like my dad. And she kept saying that. And it's like, I've felt like that before with men. And it's like, eventually it went away, but that means you're uncomfortable. That means you're uncomfortable with him. You're uncomfortable with the fact that he reminds you of your father. Like, it's like, why am I dating someone like my father? And it's like, her father seems like a great man. He's adorable. That was such a cute, beautiful, like, moment that happened on camera. But it's just like, you can't be cringing at this man if you're trying to marry him. Like, if you're gonna date him, cool, but like, you trying to marry this man and you're cringing at the fact that he reminds you of your dad. Like, it's like, you don't like this man. And it's like, every time he'd make a joke, she'd be like, I told you not to joke about that. And it's like, maybe she's joking, but like, low-key, it sounded really like, nah, can you stop? Like, you're annoying type of shit. And I was like, she don't like this man. She don't like this man. They did have a really strong vibe. I think that their conversations were really deep and beautiful. So I was like, she has to like him in some capacity. It was just like, why are you cringing at every single time he makes a joke? But I've dated men like that and I love these men, you know? So I get it, but I feel like for myself, none of them ended well. And the reason why they didn't end well is because I was cringing. You know what I mean? Same thing with them. Like, they didn't end well. They didn't end well at all. And it's like, that's like, I feel like that feeling that she was feeling, uncomfortability with like him making jokes, and me feeling that way as well, I feel like that's like a sign, like, hey, you kind of don't like this person. You're gonna settle low-key in some form. Because if you're cringing at someone and you're trying to adjust to that cringe, that already means you're not for that person. Because you shouldn't be cringing at the things that they do. You should just enjoy it or like be good with it. You know what I mean? So that was the sign. But it's like, you know, it's hard to look past that, especially when you are vibing with someone in so many other ways and then you like are trying to get married to this person, like, and they're a stranger. It's like so much to think about and so much to do in such a short period of time that you're gonna make mistakes. That's why they made this show, because it's messy. That whole relationship, I was just like like on both sides, because like Alex was giving, I don't really like you that much, and then as soon as she got into an argument with Tim and she said whatever she said to him, I forgot what it was, but you know, I'll put a clip in if I need to. He was done. Like, he clocked out and you could tell.
I mean, I understand you're hurt. I don't know what else to really say to get past it, but apologize for my part. If I'm ever in that space again where I'm in my head or don't want to talk, I'll express that first before completely shutting you out.
I've told you before, like, if I remove myself, it's out of respect, which I tried to do multiple times. And when I tried to remove myself, that was an issue too. If if I need my space, give me my space.
That's fine. And
it's
actually left. I thought you really weren't coming back. The way you were just like, pack all your stuff and leaving. That's a different like giving space. That was I'm never coming back.
That line was crossed. There are lines with me that you don't cross. Some shit was just not cool that happened yesterday. You were saying a lot of things, and you were very in my face. I don't take some of the things that were implied about me and my character lightly. And I do not take being called anything but my name lightly. But at a certain point, I have to have some respect for myself too. I have to figure out how to get in a good space and place again to where I can see you as my wife, the mother of my children.
So where does this leave us?
I'm not sure.
Like, low-key, he was not the same after that. It's just one of those situations where you push a limit with someone while you're dating them or while you're friends with them, and you don't really know that that limit can be pushed like that. And then they do forgive you, but they don't forget, and they still hold on to that hurt, especially in a relationship, because it's like you really have to, like, trust this person, and it's like they already broke your trust so easily. But to me, it's like, okay, like, they broke my trust, and it's gonna be hard for me to adjust to that, but I have to get back to normal because I don't know this person. Like, of course they're gonna make mistakes. I'm gonna do the same to them, and if they're willing to forgive me, I have to be willing to forgive them. It just sucks though that like your expectations could just be crushed by a moment of frustration or like anger or anxiety, like, and it can just change the whole trajectory of your relationship off of one moment. It's just so, life is so reactive. It's so crazy. Like, there's so many reactive ways of like shifting in life, and it's so scary. Like, this is why I'm like, I'm not gonna talk to anyone. I'm gonna stay in my room and do my art stuff and be left alone. Like, I don't want to deal with nobody, you know? But yes, that happened, and it was kind of all downhill from there, like, to be honest. And it sucks, you know? It sucks to see, you know? Especially because they had such a deep moment like initially. Him like talking about his sisters, like, oh my gosh, I almost teared up and cried, bro. That was like so deep. And then like her father, him like asking her father for her hand in marriage, and like the fact that he's like sick and he was crying, it was just like so, like, their relationship was so deep. So for them to like not be able to work things out was like so crazy to me, because it was so like deep. Like, I don't even have the words. Like, there were so many layers that were being uncovered so quickly in their relationship, and so many feelings. And it's like, maybe they were just like love bombing each other. They could have been. They were just so enthralled with like the sentimental aspect of it, because they're both really like adamant on family, and they vibed on that. That could have been the thing that also caused them to like break the relationship. It's like their expectations were way too high for each other, and they're like different. They're very different. They have similar values, but they're very different, you know? And that's a hard thing to swallow, you know? That's a tough pill to swallow. It's crazy because like I feel like watching this whole season, I was being triggered in so many ways, because my ex literally reflected almost every dude in the show. And I was like, is this just like what American men are like? You know, like, is that the reason? Because why am I experiencing PTSD from watching this? Like, legit, I'm like feeling traumatized while watching. I'm getting anxiety watching this. So there's something going on. There's something going on in the water here. Like, I don't understand. It doesn't make sense. So that happened. I was being triggered by that. And then the reunion happened, and oh my gosh, it was so messy. AD was there. Love her. She's so cute. Love her, love her. That whole situation with her, I can't. Like, I've never talked about it on camera, but I have a lot of emotions towards that whole situation. That was last season. We're not gonna talk about that. This is a new season. But she looked great. And then I don't remember that man's name that was next to her. I do not like him. I did not like him in the other season. I don't like him now. Like, I'm sorry, I just don't. I have my reasons, and if, you know, I need to talk about that on camera, I will. But there are many reasons why I do not like him. And I would have to do a deep dive into the other season. I'd have to do a review of that one to really get into why I feel the way that I feel. And then there was people from the other seasons, and then there was Zach and Bliss. They're my favorite couple. I love them so much. Like, they are my favorite couple out of all the seasons that I've watched. Like, I love them down. I love them down. They are just my faves, like 100%. And I think they're a lot of people's faves because they're popular. Like, you see them often. I'll see them on Instagram. I'll see them on Love is Blind. I feel like I saw them somewhere else. Like, they are like that couple that people like love, and I love that because they seem so cute and weird and happy together. It's adorable. But that reunion was messy. But I know that they're doing another Love is Blind. They were filming another Love is Blind because at the end they showed like the people, and it was in like a rural area. Like, I think it was Ohio. I'm pretty sure it was Ohio, but like, it was like one of those areas. And I was like, out of all the places, I guess, you know what? I guess that could be fun. Because it's like, we don't know what goes on there. If you're not from there, you don't know what goes on over there. Like, you don't know how they like meeting people, how Love is Blind would be over there. It might be messy because it's very small and rural, you know? Like, you just don't know. So I was like, interesting. Okay. I hope there's diversity because, you know, it wasn't giving. But we'll see, because, you know, some states are just not diverse like that, so I can understand. But it looked like it might be fun from the characters that were on the show of the reunion. Like I said, it's always a car, bro. And then, yeah, the reunion was just a lot of tension between so many people. Hannah and Nick had tension. Alex and Tim had tension. Tim had tension towards Brittany because Brittany was defending Alex, and rightfully so, because I was like, yeah, Alex was being real. She was basically telling him, and it's so crazy, I had the same conversation with my ex, girl. This is what I'm saying. I was like, it's too identical. Alex was explaining to Tim that he doesn't listen, and then he slipped up and he said something that she didn't say, and he repeated it and made it seem like that's what she was talking about when it wasn't. So he misunderstood, and then he just rolled with it and didn't apologize, didn't catch himself. And I was like, I could see that this was probably an issue in their relationship, and I saw that too. As soon as they got into that argument, Tim was just giving like, you're always going to be wrong and that nothing's ever going to fix that type of shit, and you're going to have to really prove it to me. Like, that was the vibes he was giving to me. And I was like, fuck you. You don't even know her. You can't get that mad at her. You know what you're getting yourself into. Like, be so for real, you know? Garrett ended up defending, I don't remember who it was. Maybe it was Tim. I think it might have been Tim. He was like, this is so stupid. And I was like, you know, oh no, it wasn't Tim. It was Nick. Okay, so with that situation, I understand why Garrett said what he said, because I agree. Like, Hannah, Marissa, and then it was one other person was coming at Nick because, oh, and Monica, they were coming at Nick because he talked shit about Hannah, and he basically said like she wasn't that attractive, but he was like, I never said those words, because they were saying words that he claimed he never said. And then Steven told Monica, and then Monica told the girls, and it's like, I don't know if I would trust Steven 100%. Like, he was like, that's what he said. And then like Ramses was also kind of like, you know that's what you said. So I was like, at first it was just Steven defending the situation because he told Monica, and I was like, he's saying he didn't say that, and you trusted Steven? Like, that man is not a real person. Like, I would not trust what he has to say 100%. He seems honest, but he also seems like low-key sketchy. So I was like, And then when Ramses said it, I was like, all right, Ramses is real. Like, he will tell the truth. Like, I trust him. So I was like, damn, he must have said that then, you know? And then Nick's like, oh, I didn't say that. And it's like, even if you did, just like own up to it or whatever. And then eventually he did. And it's like, I think it was annoying to Garrett, which I agree, because at that point it was just like he said, she said, like, just like rumor shit. It was just like a whole bunch of things that were being said, but like there was no proof, you know? And it's just like, we're adults. Like, can we like move past this? This literally doesn't even fucking matter, you know? I could see why Garrett was like, this is stupid. Like, this is so childish. He's right, because it's like, who cares? You guys aren't together. You guys are not gonna be together. You guys broke up before the show even ended. So it's like, why does it matter, you know? Like, and you guys aren't gonna be friends. So like, why does it matter? But I get it. Like, as a woman, it's like, you want them to prove to you that they were fucking saying what the fuck they said, because men will deny and never take responsibility of anything, and then they try to make women look crazy. So I can understand it on both ends, so I'm not gonna be mad 100% at the situation, but I understand what Garrett was saying. And it's like, Taylor gotta like stay silent because it's like her girls and then like her man's friends, and it's just like, damn, you know? Like, because I'm sure she knows things too. It's just like, but I get it. I wouldn't be a part of that shit. I would not want to be. I would like, this ain't my business, bro. Like, this don't have nothing to do with me. This don't got shit to do with me or my mans. Like, 100%. And it was a little awkward. Steven said some awkward shit like he was doing the whole show. I'll put something in there if I can find it.
Steven, tell us what was in the text.
Oh yeah, yeah, I know. They're pretty juicy. I don't remember.
It's like, why would you do that? Like, yeah, and that's all that happened with that. So yeah, it's so crazy. This took up a lot of time. I did not realize that talking about Love is Blind would have done that, but it did. I think I'm gonna touch on a couple of more things, and then I'm gonna end it because it's actually been like 30 minutes already. So crazy. About, from how I'm recording. I'm not really sure, to be honest. Maybe I'll do like a part 2 or something, but I'll see. I'll see how this one turns out. But yeah, another thing I wanted to touch on was the elections. Oh my gosh, what a fucking mess. The whole thing, like everything leading up to it, like watching the polls, like the fucking discourse around who was gonna win, who won, the voter fraud situation, the whole thing with like Latino people, Arab people, all these things, like them voting for Trump, like white women voting for Trump, black women being fed up. It was just like so much, like people saying shit about Jill Stein. It was just like, oh my gosh, can everyone shut the fuck up? It happened. It is what the fuck it is. We cannot do anything about that. Like, it is what it is. Like, I'm tired of people. I'm so tired of people. Like, at the end of the day, we all saw this coming. Let's be so fucking for real. Like, you could be as mad as you want to be. You could be as upset and frustrated with whoever you want to be upset and frustrated with. But I think we all fucking knew. Anyone with a brain fucking knew that Trump was gonna win. And there's no going around that. Like, all this fucking conversation around it, it's like, it is what the fuck it is. And the only people who are going to change that are the people who are in charge of the election situation and the voter situation. And of course, if you were involved in some type of voter fraud, do what you can do. Try and fight back, obviously. But outside of that, this is bullshit. Like, it's so crazy how it literally just divided us more when this should have been the time that all of us came together. I was not surprised that the Latino vote was as high as it was with fucking Trump. It's like, if you were shocked by that, you literally have never met like a decent amount of Latino people in your life. Because if you have a conversation with some, there are always gonna be a conservative in that group. Like there's always gonna be someone who's pro-Trump. Like, that is just how it is. So it's like, why are you that shocked? Like, why are you that surprised? You know what I mean? And like, the way that people responded to that is so crazy. Like, it's like, some people are like threatening to get people's family members deported. And it's like, there's no need for that. Like, first of all, immigration is gonna do what the fuck it does regardless, and if that's meant for them, it's meant for them. You don't need to call CPS on people to do that shit when it's already gonna go into play on its own. Don't be more sinister than you need to be. Let it take its course naturally. If people want to put themselves in that position, then they have to deal with the consequences of that. But don't force a consequence on someone when it literally wasn't your responsibility to do so, you know? That's the first thing. The thing with white women, a lot of them voting conservative, who told you that that was not gonna happen? Like, in what world were y'all that surprised? Like, I'm just like, why is anyone surprised? Who would be surprised about that? Like, that doesn't even make sense to be shocked. Like, huh? Like, don't we know this already? There's literally stereotypes of these kind of people. These kind of women. Like, I'm confused. Why are y'all confused that this is not what y'all expected? Like, why? I don't understand with that. Then it was like a small percentage of Arab people voted for Trump, and all hell broke loose because of that shit. I'm just like, are you guys serious? Are you guys fucking for real? Like, be so fucking for real right now. First of all, you have no idea, unless you actively have family members in Sudan and Congo and in these places, you have no fucking idea what it's like to actively watch a country blow up and murder your friends and family members. You don't know what that's like. You don't know what that experience is. So it's like, for you to get mad at people who are choosing the side that didn't decide that consciously, as far as we know, y'all need to think about where your morals are coming from. Y'all need to think about, do y'all prioritize other people and their feelings and emotions and their experiences, or do you only prioritize yourself? Because common sense would say, of course they're not going to vote for someone who's actively killing people that they care about and love and doesn't show any fucking remorse. It's like, why are we not allowed to give grace to these people when they're experiencing these things? You know? And I noticed, my camera turned off, and I noticed that a lot of black people were upset, as they should be, but they also were like saying all these crazy things. You know what I mean? Because also indigenous people voted for Trump. And it's like, if you just reached out to an indigenous person, you would know that a very tiny percentage of them voted for Trump, and it's literally not even the representation of the community. It's like the assimilated ones. You know, I saw one TikTok about an indigenous person saying that they don't represent anybody on the reservations. They represent the people who have assimilated, you know? And it's a very small percentage because no party supports them and no party cares about them and their well-being. So it's like, you know, you had to watch one video. You had to do research on one indigenous person. All you had to do was experience one indigenous person. And you would have known that that percentage of indigenous people who voted for Trump was so minute. It was so tiny that it doesn't even signify anything. You know, just that indigenous people are entitled to their opinions and have rights to vote for whoever the fuck they want to. But my main issue with the black community right now, and it's not all of the people in the black community, but it's a lot from what I'm seeing, is that everyone is saying that they're done. You know, all the people who are feeling this way, they're saying that they're done. They're saying, I'm done. I'm not supporting anybody anymore. We showed up. We showed up. And it's like, you showed up for what? For whom? You voted, black women voted, majority of them voted for Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris is complicit in murdering millions of people, thousands of people, including people in the Congo and in Sudan. So to me, it's like, why are you getting mad at people, for one, using their right to vote on whoever they choose to fucking vote for at the end of the day, and two, for not wanting to support someone who is actively harming people in various spaces and is also allowing harm to happen in America. Because not only do you have violence and all this shit happening overseas, now in America, because this administration doesn't really speak up on doing the right thing, a lot of racist people feel like they have the right to attack Arab people, even if they're not Palestinian. There's a rise of Islamophobia happening. And you're mad at the fact that some of them decided to vote for Trump. I'm just like, so you're not gonna show up for these people because they said that they didn't want to support someone who's blowing up their people. Because your rights are gonna now be intruded on when these people are getting blown up. I'm like, I'm not understanding how you decide to fucking retaliate by doing something that's not only harming people that you're now angry with, but it's also harming your own community. Because these people went out and ate McDonald's and fucking drank Starbucks, and it's like Starbucks is complicit in killing black people. They're complicit money-wise, economically. McDonald's, if they're supporting Israel, you know that Israeli people from Israel who live there have actively been racist to black people. And they're also complicit in what's going on in Congo. Like, you are aware of this, right? You're aware that these things exist. Israel has a hand in a lot of things company-wise. Congo is suffering because of Apple and cobalt. And now they just found copper. Like, these things are happening simultaneously and they're all in tandem with each other. Like, you know this, right? Like, you know that these things are happening because of these things. Like, and it's just like, all you had to do was like, look it up. You just had to do a Google search and you would have known that you are contributing to harming your own people, to harming black people. That was crazy to me. Like, I was just like, are you serious? And it's like, there's no sense going into these people's heads. It's like, these people are standing up for Congo, but then they're actively contributing to harming Congo. Like, it's just not making sense. You know what I mean? And it's like, what confused me the most was that they chose to get mad at indigenous people and Arab people and not Latino people. Like, I didn't see a retaliation for Latino people until like way later, and they were the higher percentage of people who voted for Trump, and they were the signifier in Trump winning. Like, if you watched the polls when they were doing the election stuff, you would have known that Latino people were a huge part of the vote swaying towards either candidate. If you just watched it for like a couple of minutes, you would have known that, because they talked about how there was millions of Latino people in certain states, or thousands, and they were a large majority of the population. Okay, my storage space was done, so I had to switch the SD card. So, but anyways, my point is that yeah, like, it was very strange that they weren't going after the Latino people when they were like a huge reason as to why Trump won. Very confused about that, while they attacked indigenous and Arab people first. It just was giving, it was giving racism for sure. I feel like it was giving prejudice for sure. I felt like they wanted a reason to attack Arab people, these people, and I think that just like gave weight to that. And it's like, I understand the frustration, because there's a lot of racism happening in the Arab world towards Black people, and just like putting the blame on Black people the whole time just for them to turn around and be Trump supporters. Like, I understand the frustration, I understand the anger, but at the same time, again, it's not everyone, and it's like, you cannot blame and contribute to genocide because some people in a community decide to be shitty. It just doesn't make sense, you know? And like, the fact that a lot of Black women were shocked, I saw on TikTok talking about this, they were surprised that white women voted. They were like, I'm not going to any more weddings, I'm not going to any protests for you guys, I'm not supporting you guys in any way. And it's like, when have we ever trusted that white women were going to be on our side? When we go and fight for things, we are fighting for those things because it includes us. That's why we're fighting for those things. We have never fought for things just for everyone else. It was always because we were going to be a part of the problem. If the problem started happening, we were going to be involved. That's the reason why we got involved. We didn't get involved just out of the kindness of our hearts. We got involved because it was going to cause us harm in the long run. That's why we got involved. It's like, what the fuck is going on? I don't understand. I don't understand. It's like, y'all are making it seem like we were martyring ourselves for people. We were never martyring ourselves for people. We were martyring ourselves, for our community. It was never for other people. We have never fought for causes just because of other people. We don't do that. So it's bizarre to me that that's like a thing. You know, even with this situation in Palestine, that is trickling down to us. It's affecting us. That's the reason why a lot of people are feeling passionate about this, because we can feel that, and we know 100% that it's going to trickle down to Black women and Black people. We know this. If they're able to blow up Palestinian people who have blonde hair and blue eyes and are white, basically looking, white appearing, you don't think it's going to trickle down to us? Like, of course it is. And that's why a lot of us chose to fight, not just out of the sheer kindness of our hearts, but we knew that there are consequences to these things. And it's like, Palestinian people have said it too. The ones who want us to like say something and do something. They said it's not just going to affect us, it's going to affect you as well. They know this. We all know this, that as a collective, it's going to affect Black and brown people. We know this. And it's like, that's the reason why we choose to do the right thing. Not because we're just doing it out of the sheer kindness of our hearts. We're doing it because we know as a collective we work better than being separate. We know this. And it's like so strange to me that we will literally pigeonhole Arab people, indigenous people, you know, just because some people decided to do something. That's like the whole thing that we as Black people know is not right because it happens to us so much. We're treated like a monolith. So why the fuck will we treat others like a monolith? It just doesn't make sense to me. Besides that, you know, if you're listening, please stay safe. Please get the tools that you need to protect yourself. Please read up on things. If you can get a pew pew, get a pew pew. Like, just do the things that you need to do to protect yourself. And if you need to leave, save up money to leave. That's all I say. Be safe. I hope everyone is safe, and I hope everything is okay, you know, and I hope things don't get as bad as people are anticipating. At the end of the day, like, I just want humanity to get it together and come together. I want us to come together. I feel like this should radicalize us all to come together and not cause us to divide. That's what is the point. The point is to divide us, and it's like, I don't want us to divide. I want us to get together and like really try to do something good and make a difference. Please, God, please. I'm praying on it. Like, legit, I'm legit praying that everything turns out for the better. 100%. I did want to talk about, just because it's in relation to politics, Hassan. I think his thing is called Hasanabi. I think his name is Hassan Piker or something like that, right? Girl, he is so fine. I just want to like wrap him up and put him in my bag and take him with me wherever I go, just so I can look at him. He's so pretty. He's so beautiful. He's so tall. He's my age. He's around my age. Oh gosh. I wish we could date. Like, I love that man. That man is beautiful. He is just like, And he's slightly on a spectrum like me, so I'm like, thank you. Please. We're the same, girl. He's from Jersey. I am too. We're the same, girl. Like, come on. Just give me some time. Give me an opportunity. Give me an opportunity, please. Please. But yeah, I love him. Oh my gosh, like, love at first sight when he told, what's that man's name that he was arguing with? I hate him, so I try not to think about his name. But when he told him to shut the fuck up, I was like, I'm in love.
Listen to my question.
Listen to what I'm saying, and you will understand perhaps what I'm trying to imply here.
That's very patronizing.
Utilizing the hostages. Yeah, I am being patronizing. I don't know who the fuck you are, and you're over here chirping all the way from fucking London about Palestine and doing a both sides are fucking fine type bullshit where you're talking about how you want to fucking free Palestine, but also simultaneously, you know, both sides got a lot going on. Shut the fuck up. You don't know anything, okay?
And he's from the same, like, area I am. Oh my gosh. Like, we are meant to be. We're soulmates. Just kidding. But yeah, he's so fine. Like, oh my gosh. One day I would like to meet him just to like have a conversation with him. He's so smart too. He seems very intelligent. And I'm just like, wow, like, he's giving, like, I would not pay attention to you all the time. It's giving that for sure. But, like, you know, I would just like to be friends with him. I don't want to date him. I just want to be friends with him. Like, he seems cool. And, like, because we're around the same age and we're both from, like, Jersey, I'm like, we could probably get along. We could probably be friends or something. Like, he could, like, educate me on things because he's really smart in terms of politics, you know? One day, I hope he like sees this or listens to this because he's so cute. But yeah, I wanted to talk about that just because like I feel like I needed to say it. Like, face card is on 1,000.
Do you wanna be? Do you wanna love me like that? Do you wanna be?
Yes. Outside of that, I don't think there's much more. I want to discuss, just because it just goes on for so long, and I get passionate and I don't want to make this longer than it needs to be. I'd rather just do another part. But yeah, like, a lot has been happening. I think we're all feeling anxiety and stress, and there's a lot of different emotions like coming up in different spaces right now. You know, there's so many things. Like, every day I'm learning something new in a negative way, and I'm learning some positive things too, but it's just like so wild, like how it's just been years of just like so much shit happening. And it's like, if you're a millennial, you know, this has been since we were children. It has never ended. And I feel like Gen Z is starting to experience what we've experienced. They just had it at a way younger age. Like, for us, it started around like 8 or 7, maybe 6. But like, for them, it's starting like as soon as they come out of the womb. You know what I mean? So I'm worried about their well-being, because our well-being is like already shit. Like, we are just like hanging on by a fucking thread, just like trying to find joy in the day. So I'm worried just about that alone, and them alone. I hope they're doing okay. I just think we need to really come together as a collective and stop arguing with each other and just listen to each other, and like be able to empathize and give love and receive understanding. I think this is a really important time to have conversations, be there for one another, and just encourage each other and listen. You know, read up on things that we want to learn more about, you know. Create communities and groups where we can be safe and give each other information, communicate with each other in a positive way. You know, find ways through art to express ourselves and uplift ourselves. I think it's so important right now, because it's really hard. I don't know. Being an adult is like really rough right now. Like, and we're just like kind of taking it day by day, and it's just a hard, tough ride right now. So I send love to whoever's listening, and to whoever's not listening as well. And hopefully, you know, once January hits, that year will start some really positive things as a collective, even if at the top negative things are happening. But that's all I wanted to say for today. It might be super long. I'm not really sure, because there's just so many things happening right now. Electronically, we'll see what happens. But thank you for listening, and love you guys, and I will talk to you next time. Bye.